Hi, this is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp. Welcome to my channel. Are you ready for today's video? Today's video actually was a request by one of you guys. I have received an email and one of you guys want to see the Rice Lake video. I did create a video number 241 that was using the Rice Lake background stamp. I will be very happy to create another video just for you. So rubber stamps is so much fun when you change the way you play it. The result it might looks totally different. So today's video, I am going to share with you some other way to color this stamp. If you haven't got a chance to take a look at the video number 241, make sure you click the link below. It will play the video number 241. The same image, but different way to play, and I hope you like it. Okay, so every video that I create, I always try to share some awesome techniques, stamping tips with you guys. So same as today's video. Today's video, actually, I have received an email from you guys. It was mentioning, say, hey Lisa, this right is a pretty unique, realistic stamp image. But after I stamped it, I get a lot of those black dots. Is that something wrong with the stamp or is supposed to be there? So in the past video, I have explained to you guys how a rubber stamp be born, and when I designed the rubber stamp is actually built out with those little dots. It's a kind of like a TV with a pixel. There is the HD TV quality and there is the HD. So HD they have a more dotting, the HD have a less dotting, so like a better pixel and the last pixel. So when I create my rubber stamp, for example, like this cloud, you can see I just use kind of blue color, and then this one I actually add a little bit blue. But if you just use one color, you can see here have some kind of dotting area, right? So like I say, the rubber stamp is built out with the dot. They can only read the black and white. They cannot read the gray area. So if you want to create a gray area, you actually have to use the dots to build out that gray area. It's like a circle. You can see it on the left side is a circle, dark circle line. On the right side is a dotting. So when you have a more dotting, they will build out more solid circle. With the last dotting, so the color is just lighter. You can only see the dotting circle line, right? So today's video, I am going to share with you on the picture, you can see here is a darker blue, and you can color with just like a darker blue color. But if you only use just one color, how you can create the different kind of layering. And also I want to go to share with you, like here I have some kind of the like a lighter color. So how to create that? By the stem itself already, if you, I'm not sure can you see or not, you can see here is like some dotting, right? When more dotting is darker color, when they have a last dotting, the color is lighter. But I know one of you guys said, I don't want my sky have these dark, like a dark dots. That kind of looks weird. So how are we gonna fix that? So today's video, you can see my sample card. I don't have that dark like a black dots. How did I do that? And I'm going to share with you. And also you can see this card is kind of glossy, and this is kind of glossy too, right? In my previous video I was explaining to you how can you turn your matte finish cardstock into the glossy cardstock by using the laminated sheet to cover it. So make sure you check it out. And so that's a start today's video. Okay, it is a good idea to have a stamp positioner if you have one. If you don't have one, you can watch the video number 42. In the video number 42, I was actually share with you how to use the CD case or DVD case to create your own stamp positioner. So on the glossy paper, I prefer to use a StazOn. I just find out the color show better. You use a VersaFine or VersaFine or like a Memento. I just find out the color is not dark enough. I found the StazOn show the best, and then make sure your StazOn is juicy, have a lot of moisture, not too dry. So this is how I ink my stamp. I always rubbing my background stamp. Okay, and remember in my previous video, I was mentioning the shadow stamp doesn't really work well on the glossy cardstock. You kind of need like a dust-free environment. But this rice lake is okay. It's kind of not that shadow yet because a lot of detail. So I use these old Chronicle cardstock, and this is how I ink my stamp. So just put on top and make sure I rub everywhere. Okay, so this is just most of you guys like how you stamp your background stamp. Okay, so that's what it look like. When you peel off this stamp, it's easy peel off. That means your ink is moisture. If you find it's really hard to peel off your paper, that means your ink is too dry. So you can see it's a very detailed drawing, and then you can see those kind of dotting here. And by the stamp itself, I already kind of like foggy this kind of area. Okay, and make sure you watch the video number 241, because in that video I was explaining to you where is Lisa Rice Lake, how did I get inspiration to design this stamp. Okay, so now I'm going to answer one of the questions that you guys saying to me. Say, hey Lisa, I really don't like those dark, dark like a black dot, and also on your package there is some kind of green here, right? How did you do that? So there's two different way to do. First is you just stamp it, and then you use your green impact to kind of ink around the corner, right? But I want to show you a different way to do it. So I'm going to use this StazOn again, and I'm going to ink my background stamp. Rubbing is the best way to ink your background stamp, and the tap tap. Rub, and tap tap. You rub, does help you to ink it, and you tap is kind of kind of blending those rubbing marks. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is before I stamp, before I stamped it, I actually want to do something. I actually want to use this wet cloth, kind of just wipe off that ink, which is on the sky, on this part. If you find that those black is too dark, and then I kind of use my rag to kind of remove a little bit color on the side. Okay, and then I am going to just grab my Memento darker green. Okay, I know what you're going to say, Lisa, isn't that a permanent impact? And then you're going to use the dye-based impact on top of your permanent impact. Isn't that pick up a little bit, those StazOn? Yes, it will pick up a little bit color, but like I say, the tool meant to be used. So you want to create a beautiful car, you got to use your tool. Okay, so I'm going to do that. If you have a StazOn green, you can use a StazOn green too. So I do have it, but I just want to thinking what happen if my viewers doesn't have it. I want you to able to use what you have and then do exactly the same project I'm showing. So I try to limit my material as basic as I can to show you what you can do when you want to create a project like that. Okay, so that's rubbing here, and look at these. So can you see that black dot is a little bit last, right? And then on this corner, I have a little bit green here. If you want to more, you can wipe off more this StazOn, and you can add a little bit more. And then now you're going to ask me, so Lisa, you have to remove those dots. So what's the point to design that in the beginning? But in the beginning, I'm going to show you. So let me clean my stamp, because like I say, I don't want my sky is just like completely white. I want to add a little bit dotting. So if I add a little bit blue, my sky is going to look have more texture, not just like completely flat. Okay, so in my last video I was talking about I'm run out of a StazOn cleaner, and I found out this glue gun from the craft store. It does a perfect job. But just remember, be gentle. Don't put too much. After all, they are glue remover. You don't want to remove your rubber from that static foam, right? See how easy I can clean my stamp. Okay, so that was like with a glue gun. Okay, so clean with a glue gun. It's pretty clean now, and wipe off, and I just make sure it's dry. And it is a glue gun is actually kind of nice because when you touch it, it kind of give a little bit conditioner. Okay, so now, yeah, the question is why you have those blue dots in the beginning? The blue dots in the beginning because, the rubber stamp, it doesn't mean you have to use a black all the time. You can add a little bit blue. So I kind of just rubbing a little bit lighter blue sky, the summer sky. Okay, and then you can even use a magic mushroom, kind of tapping a little bit, blending a little bit. And that's to, if you worry about your impact, get contaminated with the StazOn, what you can do is you can do your color first. And then now we use our StazOn on top. Okay, kind of like this. And let's see what's it look like. Okay, so that's why this rubber stamp is so addictive because just by using one stamp, and then you can come up with all different kind of result. So you don't really see that I have a watermark on my rubber stamp, right? But I you know what, I don't really worry about the people copy it. I do have a people copy my image. Like I say, those people who copy Local King's image, they cannot make a rubber stamp because the cost. They can only come out with the clear stamp, and then the clear stamp, there's no way they can come out with a detailed image like that. And also, it's all about these following videos that I make a Local King rubber stamps sell, because I always come out with a video to show you guys how to use the stamp you buy. So make sure you support the artist. Look at that. So if you still finally starting is too much black, just use a little bit more less, and then see how pretty it is. I think that's a really pretty, those green color. And then now we are going to make sure this is dry before we apply the color. And I'm going to show you the different way to color this image. I guarantee to you it's so easy. Okay, before we move on to the coloring part, let's do one more, because actually my sample card, I was stamping on the regular cardstock and I seal with a laminated sheet. So just in case, I'm going to just show, also make a sample too. So instead of I just use a black color, I actually use kind of like a darker brown. So rubbing your background stamp and tap, tap, tap. Okay, so I have the brown, and on the bottom part, I actually do the black color. Okay, gently tap, tap, tap. And you can use the brown, kind of blending that black and brown. And then this is the sky area. Like I say, if you don't want that dark, like a dark dotting line, you can just use a cloth, kind of wipe off that color. Okay, and then if you want to have a little bit green, you can do that too. So because it's on the regular cardstock, I am going to use a stamp positioner, and I'm just use my tool on. Okay, like this. And that's fun. This tool is very useful, especially I have arthritis now, and look at that. So that dotting area is the gun, still have a little tiny dot. That's exactly what I want. And then I add a little bit brown and a little bit black, so that make this image looks much better than this completely. I mean, like this one is kind of like a very, very black, but this one is have a little bit brown. So, but you can just remove this part of those dotting if you don't want it. Or what you can do is you can, after you remove it, you can use the blue. You know what? Let's just try it. We can add a little bit blue dots on top. So that way when you color the sky, it's just make it easier. That's grab one more sheet paper. Grab one more sheet. And then this is just a cheap Macro cards that I got from the Michaels. Just love it. Okay, same thing again. We're going to ink our stamp first with this kind of chocolate color. Okay, and so I use this VersaFine because I'm stamping on the regular cardstock, and this ink is just show better. The coverage is just much better. So I did the same thing. I used the brown and I used the black, and I'm going to just use my wet cloth, kind of remove this part. Okay, and then I am going to use the maybe lighter blue. Okay, don't you worry about your impact dirty. If you worry about this blue is too dark, you can use your magic mushroom, kind of blending a little bit. Make sure we don't want it too dark blue. Okay, let's see what it looks like. See, just by stamping one background stamp, there's too many details, there's too many things you can try. Look at that. So now my sky have those blue dotting, and then after that I can do the blending. Those dotting, it definitely help you to build out your final image. Okay, so on my right side is the stamping on the regular cheap recollection cardstock. It's 110-pound good quality. I really enjoy those 110-pound macro cardstock. I use them a lot. And then on the left, those are the glossy cardstock. And then when I create the video, I was created this sample card. So I often thinking about, I don't want to just make an A2 size card, but even though Local King's background stamp is all A2 size, so I always try showing my viewer how you can extending your card, right? So I say, okay, I want to make it bigger, and then I kind of just connect my card. You can kind of rotate it to find a better way to do that. So I rotate it, and then I think this way it works just fine. So I am going to just use the tape, just tape it. Okay, just tape it, and we can just make sure that perfect size. We can even add a little bit, color to blending that gap if we still show. Okay, so that's how I extending my my cards, right? And then I come out and say, oh, this one, I was going to put this one in the garbage, but I said, oh, that's perfect to make like a square card too. You can make a 5.5, 6.6, but I think that looks like a awesome project, just a square in the middle. So I think, okay, I'm going to use that one too. Okay, so and then how we going to color it? On the regular cardstock, I will definitely use a magic mushroom to do like a blending. You can use your blending tool. You can use a magic mushroom. You can use a watercolor. You can do anything you like. But on the glossy paper, I won't suggest you to use the magic mushroom or any blending tool because it's really hard to blending on the glossy cardstock. And in the video number 241, I think I probably show you guys you can use the makeup sponge to rubbing some color on top too. But today I'm actually going to show you what other tool that I use for coloring. Okay, so make sure you check out the video number 241. In the video number 241 was to share with you how to use a magic mushroom to color them. But today I'm actually going to show you the most easier way to color this stamp. So let's start with the small one, and I have this blue impact, and I'm going to try one blue, and I'm going to show you the other one. I'm going to do some sunset color. So this is a Kaleidos color, and then we are going to just ink with Brayer. Okay, so I'm going to just apply my color. Make sure you color nicely, like rubbing the color on top few times in one direction only. make sure your Brayer pick up a lot of color. I think this ink pad probably need to refill a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to start the color. So this is my sky area, right? If you don't like those black dots, I already show you how you can remove it. So I'm going to just have some kind of lighter color. That's the lake area. So I'm going to just start from here, and then one direction slowly move from the right to the left. Okay, and then I'm going to ink again. Like this. Isn't that really pretty already? If you want the dark on the top, you want a darker color, so you just use the Brayer, pick a little bit darker blue, and then repeatedly apply on top. That's it. I think there's nothing else is easier than this. And then I am going to clean my Brayer with a wet cloth, and then I want to add a little bit orange on the bottom. So if you don't have those Kaleidos color, you can just use the blue color impact, like a two blue color, put your impact together, try to apply the color. So, and then I'm going to just add a little bit orange color. You always start a little bit off the paper, slowly move it toward, so that way we don't get a very solid border line. That's it. First card. That's exactly how I create this card. There's more because those. Let me grab my craft knife. So where did the craft knife go? Let's just use this one. Okay, so this is a crown coated cardstock. That means they have a very thin layer of clay coat on the surface. So if you use a regular cardstock, don't bother because nothing going to come off. But I have this nice crown coat, so I can just use my knife, kind of scratch a little bit, highlight of this tree, and this here, just anyway, just give it a little bit touch out, just like a kind of highlight it, a little bit reflection. That's it. And then you just put your chair on top. I think that's really pretty, right? And this is just the glossy cardstock. Okay, so let's try one sunset color to see what's look like. So the sunset color, I want to use this orange color to see what it look like. Haven't done it before, so we will see. And like I say, we always, you know what? I am going to actually start from the bottom and then add the blue on the top. So I'm going to just make sure I ink my impact well. I'm going to start from here. Okay. The trick of using this technique is when you apply the ink, you only go one direction. Okay. You don't ink your Brayer like this. This one, they will create the line. So if you see your painter, when they apply the color, they do one direction, they are really professional. If they do like this, they usually leave the mark. So let's do again, we're going to do 2 layers. I think that's a beautiful sunset, right? And then, well, if you don't want to add the blue, you know what we can do is I'm going to use my Brayer, and then I am actually going to just pick up the darker red area, and I'm going to find my blue impact. Okay, sorry, not blue, the purple. And then I'm going to, okay, here is my red, right? I'm going to just kind of connect to pick up some blue, one direction. Okay, see now my Brayer have a red and have a purple, and then the red go to the red, blue go my purple go to the purple. There you go. Once again you done, you can go back to pick up more purple. I think that's a beautiful nighttime view, isn't it? Not done yet. So on the bottom, if you want to add a little bit blue color, you can do that with the Brayer. I am going to just use the magic mushroom to pick a little bit blue, just gently tapping on top. Voila! I think that's so pretty, isn't it? And again, this is a chrome coated cardstock, so I'm going to just use this knife, kind of scratch it a little bit highlighted. Okay. The highlight of the tree, it doesn't really need any skill, but don't tell your friend. Always tell your friend you spend 2 hours to make a birthday card for them. And wow, I think that's very pretty, right? And then for the coloring this deck, okay, my background, because is very kind of dark, right? So just be careful if your deck is too dark too, they will all blending together. So that's make a little bit lighter color. The most easiest way to color is you just use the magic mushroom. This is desert sand and just a light color. Oh, my magic mushroom is kind of dirty. I lost that beautiful light desert sand. So I'm just spray with a little bit color on my wet cloth and use this wet cloth kind of clean the tip. And then before you apply the color, you always use a white dry cloth to absorb the extra ink. When you try on your scrap paper, if there is no ink, that means your magic mushroom is ready to use. Light color, and that's add a little bit orange. Let me see. You know what? I think I am going to just use the yellow because I want to have a light color. I don't want it too dark. Yep, the yellow will do. And then make sure your magic mushroom got to be a little bit moisture. If it is too dry, they don't really blending well. I think that the deck is absolutely pop out, right? And then we want to make sure they are just like a one piece. So I'm going to use my purple magic mushroom, give it a little bit highlighted here, darken. So this darking set have a boat, have those kind of chair, have one goose flying. I think that's so pretty, isn't it? Okay, so I'm gonna mount it. I will be right back. Okay, so this is what it look like. So I think that's a really pretty nighttime view, right? So I did use those gel pen to put some stars in the sky. I think that looks pretty. And for this one, instead of those chair, I put this heritage house here too. And the duck dice set, it does come with this boat. So that's what it looks like. That's today's video. I hope you you like it, and leave me a comment to let me know if there is any stamp set you like me to working on video. Feel free to send me an email, leave me a comment. I will be very happy to create a video to show you how to use the Local King's rubber stamp. For my next video, actually, I have a customer. She ordered this seascape set and with the new sky background stamp. I think they will work perfect. What do you think? So I'm going to working on this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp. See you next time. Goodbye.